This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh new smart talk all day. This is Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry, Aaron Green, sitting in at the mic with Newry this morning. We continue the conversation. I have a guest joining me in studio today. I am always excited when I get this guest in studio. First of all, because she working. If it's anybody who working in this town, it's this woman right here. She is always working. And I think at some point, we're going to open up the phone line because I'm sure people would like to engage her, but I would like people to engage her, right? And I would like people to kind of identify things that they're observing in their community or as they drive through the wider island, right? Or on the family islands. Now, we ain't talking people business, right? But sometimes people don't see need where it exists, right? And sometimes we don't see the trauma. Sometimes we don't see, this in the earlier conversation, we're talking about the type of desperation that would drive a woman to cook hot grits for someone. Like, we don't see that desperation until it results in a crime or an act of violence, right? And what this woman has been doing over the last 10 years, 13 years, has been seeing, refusing to not see, refusing to ignore, right? And it's my pleasure to have in studio with us today Candy Gibson, founder and executive director of the organization FOAM, Family of All Murder Victims. Now, Candy, good morning. I need you, I'm going to adjust the mic for you. Pull it right up. Okay. Yeah, there you go. You have to speak right into the mic. I need you to introduce yourself, though, because your people know you. They know me, but your people know you, and they're waiting for you to introduce yourself.
Good morning, everybody. It's indeed a pleasure to be here. I am Candy Gibson, director of FOAM. FOAM started out with just helping murder victims' children, but we have rebranded. We are octopus with many different arms because the social ills in our country is very overwhelming, and so we try our best to help persons who come to us. Our motto has changed. Our motto is making life easier for those in need and hurting amongst us. And so with that being said, persons come to us with domestic violence, they want to have their record expunged, homelessness, grocery items, hot meals. They come to us for housing. They come to us to point them in the right direction. If it's police brutality or they feel like their rights are being violated, they come to us for just what child molestation, incest, rape. They come to us for everything, and it's more or less like when they feel like their voice or their situation isn't being dealt with, they come to Candy Gibson. She can make sure I am served. She can make sure I'm helped. She can make sure my mouth is not I'm not thrown on the table or whatever. And so I feel like they come to FOAM because they know hope is here. Mm-hmm. When I go to a murder victim's family, like I tell them, I'm not the police. I ain't coming for no information. Yeah. I come in because I was touched with your infirmity. I know what it's like to have two brothers murdered and a boyfriend murdered. I know that pain. I know that cry. I know that holler. I know that moan. So I've been there. So when I reach out to people, I reach out because I genuinely care. Because, like I tell people, I've had my own hurricanes. Mm-hmm. Some I even refuse to talk about up to this day. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And although you've expanded the services you offer, I don't see you expanding beyond the theme, right? That you look at families of all murder victims, but really what you're doing is you're supporting people in grief.
Yes.
Right? And the thing about grief is that, like, grief don't have a hierarchy. the grief that you feeling from losing a loved one is could be the same intensity of grief that someone is feeling from losing a job, which is actually a career path, a home, a vehicle, which is mobility and agency and economic agency and the ability to control your own life, right? Like these things hit us, even though they're different. The grief is the same. I would say send a shout out to Dr. Reginald Eldon, who is a grief and loss recovery counselor, right, and offers those services. I want to say to anybody who does that work, reach out to FOAM now and say, hey, can I support you in this work? Even if it's just with training, with referrals to trainers and facilitators, because what you're doing is you caring for people and their needs while they're in grief, because the grief will overwhelm you, even though you have to keep living. Okay, so Candy, you've been in the news.
I always in the news. Whether it's good or bad, I'm in the news.
That's all right, because whenever you in the news is good.
Yes.
This article I found, I love it. You guys, I got to read from this article. Candy Gibson named CIBC Unsung Hero for the Bahamas. This article was in the Nassau Guardian, 31st of October, so the end of last month, 2025. Compassion born from tragedy is defined the life's work of Candy Gibson, founder and director of Families of All Murder Victims, FOAM. That compassion earned her the title of CIBC's Caribbean's 2025 Unsung Hero for the Bahamas. Selected for her extraordinary leadership and commitment to helping families navigate loss and trauma, Gibson was celebrated during the CIBC Caribbean Unsung Heroes Recognition Dinner. She received a cash award from the bank in recognition of her outstanding community impact. Now, Candy, you were allowed to put was that for you personally or was that for the organization?
That would have been for me personally, but
I know you put it in the organization.
Yes, because there was this one particular lady.
Yeah.
She came with an abusive marriage. She's really struggling now for 5 years. I've been dealing with her. And so my first order of business was to bless her with a car. And she had 2 children, and because she always had to catch bus and so forth, she started to develop some tendonitis, something in her leg.
Yeah.
And so I said, I was just keep saying to myself, I want to bless a single mother with a vehicle for Christmas. And when the money came, she got it. So I just put on Facebook that a single mother, I put the key in my hand. I didn't want the recognition. I just let someone know, I just let persons know that a single mother was blessed up with a vehicle. Should she chose to highlight me, good. If not, all still the same. Mm-hmm. You know, and she sent me a video thanking me, but that's between me and her.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't be like Candy.
Amen.
That's right. And I know, but see, because I know that it's not about you. It's about a message. It's about things that pass through you, right? Because you are a conduit. Okay, let me continue reading from this article, Ms. Gibson. The quote is, it reminds us that even when our work is done quietly and without spotlight, compassion and service never go unnoticed. We are truly grateful to CIBC Caribbean for recognizing the power of community and kindness, in the words of Ms. Gibson herself. Gibson will now be considered for the Unsung Hero title at the regional level. Gibson established FOAM after personal tragedy. She transformed grief into purpose through advocacy, outreach, and support for hundreds of families affected by violence. Her work continues to serve as a lifeline for those in need of comfort, guidance, and hope. I just want to mention Gina Gonzalez's role was the first runner-up, and then we had Carter Munnings, Brune Clark, and Waynisha Saunders, all recognized as well. So when is the big competition, Candy?
Oh, they haven't told me that as yet, but
All
I'm
right.
just honored just even be a part of their initiative. God is good.
All right, but when you get the date, you give us the date.
Okay.
And so that we could gear up the audience for, even if it's just prayers that we're sending out there, right? And in recognition of the work that you do.
Thank you.
And then now we're going to talk about some of the work that you do, right? Now, I want to go right back to that awesome gift that you shared. By reading this article, Homelessness on Rise warns activist Gibson. Nassau Tribune, 29th of October, last month, this year, 2025. So let's talk about that. The work that you do with people who are unhoused, who have housing insecurity, and why, like, this should be a prevalent conversation, because when we look at all of the conversation taking place, like today, even though it's the 63rd anniversary of women's suffrage in the Bahamas, and that's what we should be talking about. They're talking about all this election, right? One of the things they noted in Golden Isles, or in the results, the analysis of the results, was that the population in that constituency has become sort of like transient. There are a lot of people moving in and out relatively quickly, I think, right? And I think we underestimate the extent to which people are experiencing housing insecurity, where they're not, right, like I got this place, but I'm not certain how long I could keep it.
And that's real,
Yeah.
especially with the cost of living, and the apartment rental now, and then majority of places that they're renting you, but then how much children they're going to allow to come in.
Yeah.
And our country is a fertile country. We know women having more than just 1, 2 children. And I'd want to say this again, we can't beat them down because they had 4, 5, 6, or 8 children. It already happened. Yes, they should have used contraceptive. Okay, they didn't.
Hold on, but pause. At the same time as you saying that, because we're talking about personal responsibility and we're talking about like spatial awareness, understanding what you can manage by yourself if you have to, right? Because
Right.
2 people make a child.
Yes.
But you as a woman have to decide, what can I manage if this man or these men walk away? If they die, if they disappear, what can I reasonably manage on my own, right? But at the same time, we have a government that's having a conversation with us, right, about the impact or the consequences of a decreasing birth rate. Like, they're telling us that for our economic needs, right, for our long-term economic needs, for our long-term labor needs and national development needs, we're not producing enough babies. But at the same time, are we creating an environment that is conducive to mothers having babies, having lots of babies, increasing the birth rate? Do we have, like you say, do we have housing inventory that understands the children? Like what, parents can just leave the children with the grandparents on the island? Hold on, let's stick a pin. I know I said it out loud. But y'all do not think that you're going to gentrify New Providence to the point where you only have workers on New Providence and children and families, right? Children and mothers or children stay on family islands with caregivers.
No, that's not right.
I don't like that idea either. Don't think it because I said it out loud. But what y'all think is going to happen? Yeah. Like, we don't have enough after-school care programs. We don't have enough housing to accommodate children. And let me talk about housing to accommodate children. Children need to play. How do we know this? Because the Global School Health Report said that the inactivity rate is so high that it's going to be a problem in the near future. The obesity levels are high because the inactivity levels are high, and the activity levels are low because outside of organized recreational, extracurricular recreational activities, kids don't have enough space to play.
And that's really sad, And so once persons get apartment, they have a few children. The space is limited. You understand me? And so that when itself, sometimes even the landlord will come and tell you, hey, you have this amount of children, you have to leave. I can't put up with this because the noise or whatever the case. And with young children, they drawing on the walls and stuff and so forth. So I guess the landlord taking that and
which is ridiculous because in the United States of America, there are laws that govern this space, right? Like if y'all watch Judge Judy, you know, when you're a landlord, you're expected to replace the carpets regularly. That's your responsibility as a landlord. You're expected to paint or to provide, right? Like you paint, I'll provide the paint, whatever. But these things are the landlord's responsibility. But now you are in this market, in this jurisdiction, you're restricting people because of the behavior that in a properly developed state, in a state that you would be responsible for as a landlord periodically, right? That's not to say that we can just let children right up on the walls, right? But it is to say that we are acting as if children do not exist, or worse, that you could just pretend like your children don't exist.
And they do, they do. And then you have some cases where persons, they were told that, hey, guess what, we could rent this place, but we only could accommodate 2 children or 4 persons, 2 adults, 2 children. And so they then lie on the application, and weeks later they bring in the other 2 children. And it's just sad, like I would say, what single mothers go through. Single mothers go through a lot. And like I say, they would have made unwise decision, but it already happened. How do we help them? And then some of them, they have to want help too, because you cannot continue just having children expect for handout. That's your responsibility. And like I would often share, a woman's job is to protect her body and guard her body. So you have to learn how to take contraceptives, That have to be a must now moving forward, because you cannot continue making the same mistakes, and I wouldn't call it a mistake, but doing the same stuff and expect changes.
Right. And in instances where you see, these are the sort of things that we talk about in 16 Days of Global Activism, right? The first thing is that single mothers are struggling.
Yes, very much.
Households with 2 breadwinners, struggling. So imagine what the single caretaker is struggling. Then imagine the father, right, who's like, oh Lord, I don't even know what to do with the children. Right, they have that psychological weight when it's just the father, right? So, but people are going through things that some of us may not understand.
One time ago, Aaron, like when I would have my giveaways, it would be just the women coming for stuff. We have men coming for stuff too. In fact, we have men coming with their girlfriend for stuff. And then we have situations where men, their girlfriends have baby before time, and they have baby stuff, and they're coming for stuff for their girlfriends who had baby before the scheduled date. And so now we realize that this whole economy affecting everybody right now feeling the pinch. I don't care how much money you making right now.
It's not enough.
No, everybody feeling the pinch. Especially when you go in the food store. You have the light bill. You have water bill. You have cable bill. That's the necessities alone is what really putting the demand on us. Especially with children involved. The children need clothes. They need underclothes. They get sick. They got to get cold, man. You go to the doctor. The NHI is good, but they have to buy medication. And people don't understand. You get your car break down. That need a part. A car just like having a child.
And then let's talk about the food thing, right? Because people are, why are they always at the fast food? Why they always at the tuck shop? Why they always here? Well, let me tell you why they're always there. Because you have to budget, right? Like, so when you say, well, buy in bulk. If I buy in bulk, the first thing I have to figure out is how do I store my food, my bulk appropriately so it doesn't get contaminated with bugs, with moisture, right? With humidity or flood water coming up from the ground, right? And then here's the next thing. I may not be able to secure my resources in the household that I'm in for my children. So I got 2 or I have 3. It's me, and so it says 3 of us. We in a household is actually 7 other people, right? And every time I buy a bale of rice, trust me, by the end of week 1, 3/4 of the bale is gone, not because we ate it all, right? But because the person that I living with insists, they're coercive, they're a bit bullish, they're bullyish, right? Oh, you're bringing all this, and they taking it without permission, and what they do is they suggest that if you make noise, you can't live here no more, right? And they may be beholden to somebody. They may have a landlord that they ain't paying all the money to, and the landlord come and walk in the house and see a bale of rice and say, well, look here, you give me half of that bale of rice right now. Because they got people they need to feed too. You give me half of that bale of rice right now, and don't worry about what you owe me on the rest of this rent. That half a bale gone. I telling you, that's gone. And what you could do, you can call the police and say, look here, I put a bale of rice in my house.
And it's gone.
And the people who I living with take it to get the people. Call her, I sorry, call her, call back. I sorry, I miss you. Like, sometimes you don't, like I live in a household where the only person I have to worry about thieving my food is my mommy.
Yeah.
Right? I don't have to, it don't make sense to call the police on her. She know all the police. It don't matter, right? But you in these spaces, and then imagine now, you're a mother, you got a young man, you growing up. He's 14, but he looked like he's 22. And he eating, remember the video where the Jamaican woman had to ask her son if he trying to really eat a whole carton of eggs one time? Because he probably could have, and he's growing. I come into you right now, caller Candy. Let's take this caller. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Miss Green. How you doing?
Hi, good, thank you. How you doing?
Boy, you talking about bale of rice? You need to talk about the Patrick Farm cookies. Or you need to hide them.
No, you can see this is it. Me and you, that's what they call that, middle class problems. Hiding
Boy,
the
no,
cookies.
boy. Them Patrick Farm cookies, boy, you can't hide them for nothing.
I can't afford
They
them.
can find them, trust me. No matter where you put the Patrick Farm cookies, they can find them.
Uncle, and let me tell you right now what I could tell the police. Your Honor, this boy rich. He could afford Pepperidge Farm cookie. And he just leave them in the house just open like that. He must have been sharing them. He had to have been sharing them. Because Pepperidge Farm cookies,
Yeah.
because people, the situation we talking about, guys, like, this a part of what I do. My company, we give workshops. We can teach you how to make cookies from flour and juju.
Oh, wow.
Because juju is in the apple family. And if you use Rasta or Seventh-day Adventist, you know you replace egg with applesauce. And you could replace applesauce with juju. So with flour, a little bit of sugar, and some juju, you making cookies now, right? See, Texter, that's where we are. Like, we talking with people, and then the problem is this. You gotta have a baker. You gotta have an oven to be able to make cookies, right? And so when I sitting there saying, what you mean you in the store buying Pepperidge Farm cookies? You know you can't afford that, miss. The truth is she can't afford an oven to make her own cookies.
That's real. A lot of people on the portable stove, the portable gas stove, and that's real.
So
you go in the food store, people picking them up to go cook for Sunday dinner, to the week dinner.
You can't even afford the strategies and the solutions that middle class and bougie people like Aaron trying to survive on. Like that's where we are when we're talking about sort of some of the constituencies that foam is serving in the country. That's why I always, when people say, they always on the fast food line, and I tell them, do you know how long it would take someone on minimum wage to budget, to keep maintaining their rent and transportation, whatever it is, whether it's catching the jitney, and that's $3 one way for one trip, right? To budget to put a stove in their home, put a refrigerator in their home, a refrigerator large enough to take advantage of bulk purchases, right? Like, are the strategies we're devising for people, or we expect people to take advantage of, are they accessible to them even? Now, I say all of that, Candy, let's get into what foam is doing. So you came in here with this flyer, and I heard about an initiative that foam has on the table. Let's take this caller, and then we're going to get to what foam is doing. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Green. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How you doing?
Candy, how you doing, man?
Fine, thank you.
Julian Ferguson here.
Hi, Mr. Ferguson.
Listen to me. I'm so proud of you. Just knowing that I was a part of the Nassau Village constituency at one time. I'm very, very proud of you, man.
Thank you.
And but my thing is, not just with you and Aaron, but with everybody. There's a lot of people that talk about the single mother. I know we have a lot of single mothers in this country. But what about the single fathers? I was at a church service no longer on Sunday at a harvest service. And they said that all the widows must come up and get some fruits and what's not. And I was kind of, because what about the men? I am not looking for no sympathy. On Monday, the 1st of December, would make 10 years since I was a single father. My wife passed. But, I can make it. I don't know little children now. My youngest child is 21. But, there's still a lot of men like myself who really, who really is doing their part. Mm-hmm. And we need to try, and that is why anytime I see an opportunity like this, I try and push it. We need to try and push the man now. Let them know, we always talk about the single mother. We never hear much about the single father. Like most real men are not looking for sympathy. But then you have some men who just can't do it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go right now, Ms. Green, because I know you're getting into something else. But I had offers where I had a brother in Freeport wanted me to send my son. He was 11. I had my wife's sisters wanted me to send him to Exuma. I told him, no, I'm going to grow up my son myself.
Mm-hmm.
My son is 21, and I can be on this national radio and tell you I never had to go to school for him. I never had to go on the police station for him. Now he's working and probably taking care of me a little bit now.
I was about to say, if he's come pick you up once a week and take you where you
No,
want
he
to go.
lives with me.
Oh, then you got him on
He
lock.
ain't got nowhere.
There you go.
He lives with me. You know, but we have some fun. Now, mind you, I'm not going to pull. We have some lousy stuff. Because when I be in the man conversation, we have some lousy men.
Mm-hmm.
Real lousy men. But behind the man on the screen, we have some men like Jewel. Good man.
Yeah.
You know, I
Oh,
but
absolutely.
I want to tell Miss Candy, she even get me getting the barber next door office now where I fall on her so much.
That's awesome.
That's good.
But I have been here to come by honestly on national radio and drop off something for you.
Appreciate you.
Because
God bless
I
you.
really like the saying I know where you came from. When you see me, you'll know me once you see me.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay? But I promise you that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, great. God bless.
Absolutely blessings. Candy, in fact, I was on your page and I see you having, FOAM is hosting free Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow,
Yes,
right?
at 12, yes.
So people still have time to drop off some donations to
Yes.
support. Tell the people what you need, what people want. You know, what you need, what people kind of want, and you think people want, how we could get it to you.
Okay, we're having a annual Thanksgiving dinner. Ham, turkey, rice, peas, corn, beets, plates, spoons, stuff like that, napkin. If they want to donate water or soda, that's a plus. My number is 424-8953. That's 424-8953 if they want to be a blessing to this initiative or any other initiative we have in.
Mm-hmm. Is that the number listed for the office?
603-4141 is the office number, sorry.
All right. There you go. There you go. Thanksgiving dinner hosted by FOAM. It's free for those in need. Dear Bahamians, listen, if you ain't the need, let's hold space for people who really, really in need. We're talking about people who not going to eat anything on Thanksgiving Day to get a plate versus I don't want to eat what I have in my house for Thanksgiving Day. Good morning, caller. Turn your radio down for me, please.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am splendidly well. Candy.
Good morning, boss.
I called to say we appreciate the work that you're doing in this country.
Oh, thank you,
Sometimes, like, a lot of people don't say it. I've said it to you privately. I want to say it publicly. The Bahamas is a better place because of the work that you do. So continue pressing on every person out there that seek to come out of themselves and help to uplift and encourage, motivate, and even to give somebody a hand up. We appreciate you so much in this country.
Thank you, boss. I appreciate you, too.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day, sir. Let's go to the next caller quickly. Good morning, caller.
Hey, morning, Mr. Mayor. How you doing?
Hi, good. Thank you.
Wait a minute, do me a favor, right?
Uh-huh.
Thanksgiving is tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's selling Thanksgiving dinner for at least $140 a plate.
That's right.
Could you please tell people, please, not in my name, but in Jesus' name, don't say people no dry turkey. People still don't dry turkey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People still don't know how to cook a moist turkey. You ever get one Thanksgiving dinner before? Person say for about $50 a plate, right?
No, never.
Dry, you touch the back of your throat, you got to drink water.
What's wrong with you? Because you are the one who don't have sense. Why are you spending $50 on Thanksgiving dinner? More importantly, why are you buying $50 Thanksgiving plates and you ain't invite me over yet? I don't even need a whole plate for myself. I could share a $50 plate with you, Uncle.
Boy, check it out tomorrow. You're going to see the prices on them. But please tell them no say people no dry turkey, please.
I got you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And let me show you all something. Did you all know, like, we could be doing Thanksgiving like our own way, like when they do the pork leg and they do the applesauce, you could do the juju sauce, or you could do a guava sauce to go with it as well, right? Like we have, sometimes we think, this foreign thing and we can't afford. We have all the little things we need to celebrate it now. I don't tell KFC if they run out of wings again, I always have 2 seagulls in the back of my car. I think we got what we need. I got a text that says, Candy knows that Sparky's son was left on Sparky's front porch when he was only 4 years old. That's a text from Sparky.
Yes, I know that.
All right. So that's a story that that is told in the work that you do?
Yeah, okay.
You don't have to tell,
okay.
because I know it's his story, but I just saying.
Yeah, we have stories where mothers leave the children with their fathers. That's why I say we have fathers reaching out to help. You know, even situation whereas the mother isn't letting the father see the child in the inbox, me comment situation. I then have to be the mediator between the mother and the father. Long as the father isn't abusing the child, neglecting the child, give him rights to the child.
Pause. Let me reframe that. He has rights to the child.
Yes, he has, yes.
Right? Now, say his name is not on the birth certificate, but you still expect financial support. You expect the financial support because you attempted to convince him the child is his. If the child is his, then if you think, or you're going to tell him the child is his, you don't think he thinks he has a right
to the child.
A right to see his child. You don't own the child. You don't own the human. What you own is the responsibility and the obligation. But if you withhold the child from the man, like you say, it's not because you're abusive, it's not because you're an addict or you're struggling with something. It's just because you don't like them or you don't like how they treating you. No, and then to think, I come to you right now, caller, to think that then the man has to support you and your household and then support himself along with whatever other dependency he's supporting, right? It's all trauma piling up on top of itself. Good morning, caller.
Ms. Green.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
There's a food network up in the east. Ms. Green.
Yeah, a food network.
Thank God for them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They feed thousands of people, not just on Thanksgiving. Every other month. And these people, what they do, they distributed the food to the churches them in bags and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And these people are doing, I won't call the name on the radio, but they are really doing a good job.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you. So there's a food network.
That's Bahamas Feeding Network.
Okay, Bahamas Feeding Network. Okay. Now listen, I have my own little feeding network. Right now I service raccoons primarily, right? But no, a farmer gifted me with a box of this thing called Shire. It's tree spinach. It's miracle spinach. It's a hot weather variety spinach. And when you get that stick and you throw it on the ground, it will root itself. It'll spring root and pull itself up. It's just strong and hardy. And it's like a hedge for me. So when people stop by, they look, I tell them. And so now I have people who will stop by. And when I hear the horn beep, I know that's because they stopped the car to break a couple of sticks off to go replant or plant somewhere else. It's it's the most nutrient spinach in the world, right? And so I'm going to commit to giving some of those sticks to Foam. So when we get on to our next initiative, I can tell you all about it. So, Candy, you brought in this beautiful picture with you this morning.
Yes.
Tell me what this is about.
Okay, it's Foam 24-hour We Care building. Initially, when I first started with the housing project, I was like, I want to just do housing and shelter. Yeah, housing and shelter assists with a part of the social ills we have in this country. But I realized persons calling me in the wee hours of the morning, I got a job interview, I got a call, do you have a black pants and why should I get at the office? We have it, but we don't open until this time. How would you get it? I need my documents copy. Can you do a resume for me? I need it for 8 o'clock. I can do it, but we don't open until this time. So with the 24-hour We Care building, the office is going to be open up 24 hours. And that means you can get your documents copy. If you call it for an interview, you can get a navy blue pants or black pants or white shirt, white blouse, Crocs or a pair of shoes. Also free clothing and free grocery. Then we also, like in some cases, people get put out in the wee hours in the morning. They need a place where they can go and get a nice shower. And I had persons reach out to me before who would have gotten evicted if I get to pay for a room, the 3 nights at Smith's Motel, for them to be able to take a shower with them and their children to go to school at least for 3 more days. So we have a hot shower there, and last but not least, it'll have shelter spaces there as well. So we can't accommodate the whole Bahamas, but if we can accommodate at least 10 families, we're on to something. And so, like I said, this is the blueprint because we don't have such building in the Bahamas. We have building where it's 9 to 5.
Yeah.
After 5, where does that leave you with a crisis or with a trauma or with a social ill? You have to wait until.
Or me as a young student who walks home and then for some reason the house ain't open up. Who's supposed to be in the house ain't in the house, and I don't feel safe.
All right, and we also have a space for kids activity. So we reaching out to the whole person. So something in here is going to be there for everyone. And even though it's a vision in my head, this will come to fruition. But I need the help of the public.
Okay, so what's the initiative called? So when I hear it, I know what we're talking about.
The initiative called the Foam 24-Hour We Care Building.
All right, the Foam 24-hour.
We Care Building.
I got you.
And this is not just for females. This is for the whole entire Bahama land, male, female, boy, or girl, children. This is for everybody who needs help.
Yeah. Have you begun the fundraising initiative?
Yes, I opened up a GoFundMe account page on Facebook.
All right.
It's there. And so people can feel free to donate. Also, Foam is a registered 501c organization, so persons can donate to us and get a tax return.
So look here, if I'm a Bahamian in the diaspora, if I am a diasporic audience member, so I'm not Bahamian, but I listen to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or any other Bahamian broadcast, after you turn from Guardian, I can donate.
Yes,
and I'll get tax recognition for my donation.
Yes, you can. We are registered 501c. Yes. Internationally.
Awesome.
Yes.
This is awesome. Okay. And so the same numbers to call to 603-4141 is the office buildings. I can get details on how to donate or cell contact.
424-8953.
Okay. And you have a location, you thought out a location yet?
Well, I already did my groundbreaking. Remember, I did
Oh,
my
right,
yes,
the
January
2025.
23rd. Yes.
Okay.
I did the groundbreaking already, so I already cut the foundation. So now I'm just trying to gather funds now to pour the foundation. And so once we do that, we'll be on to this 2026. I'm believing God to be the best year for Foam.
Oh, man, look here. Okay. The foundation is already down.
We already pay for the business plan, and we already pay our portion on the building permit.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Oh, so we've been working with STEAM.
Yeah, we work.
And so how much money are you looking to raise for the initiative?
Right now, it costs $1.8 million to complete this building. That's just a completion, dying the staff payment, the
operational
cost, and that's not nothing like that. But 1.8 is to complete the building.
Okay.
So we need all hands on deck. If someone might have worked at a lumber company, a steel company, they want to donate, that's fine. Someone might work to a place where they could get their staff to donate funds for this event, that's fine. We need all hands on that.
And Candy, so in the on the clock hour, right? I was
Yes.
reading the article in the Tribune today about the case on appeal, where the woman threw acid in the other woman's face. Bang. One of the callers, a member of the disabled community, asked, essentially, could we create, right, legislation where the victim gets restitution?
Well, this was an initiative from 2020 I put out there. Make murders pay. Call it a debt for a debt.
I got
Debt, DEBT, for a debt.
Debt
So
for a
even if
debt,
the person
yeah.
that isn't dead, because they lost an eye, that eye is dead. They lost a hand or foot, that's dead. You understand me? Because your body no longer can function the way it wants to function. So I call it a debt for a debt. I already put this out in national media. People are like, oh, that ain't fair possible because I had a family supposed to pay. No, it's possible. It's possible. Because when you could go ahead and decide to take someone's life or harm them in a way they can't lose a body part or no longer, then we have an issue.
Their quality of life has been significantly diminished, and their income generating and earning capacity has, in many instances, entirely been removed from them. Like, how are they supposed to survive if you took their means of survival away from them? Oh, I feel you, Candy. I feel you. Debt for a death.
Yes.
Man, we gonna highlight that because I was just thinking, like, we need a tax of some sort. I always say tax and web shop. I don't know why the two seem synonymous with me. But the point is, imagine if we could develop a tax where a percentage, right, goes to restitution for victims and to support the services.
That would have been in the Tribune, February 6, 2020. Candy Gibson, founder, presents a local house group, makes killers pay victims' family a death for a death.
Send that link to me.
Okay.
Producer, thank you. We go into a break. When we get back from the break, I also heard about a new initiative, Bella's Initiative.
Yes,
We'll talk about that at the other side of this break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
One in every 4 Bahamians face some level of food insecurity. AML Foods remains committed to helping, and this year, through our Feed 5,000 program, will donate $50,000 to provide holiday meals for families in need. But we need your help. From November 3rd to December 17th, show your support and donate at the register at Solomon's, Cost Right, Fresh Markets, Eleuthera Markets, Exuma Markets, or Domino's Pizza in New Providence, Grand Bahama, or Exuma. Together, let's put an end to hunger.
Join the Bahamas Heart Association for its inaugural golf tournament, proudly presented by Visa and Fidelity Bank on Sunday, November 30th at the spectacular Royal Blue Golf Club. Every swing brings hope and healing to young hearts. Gather your team and play with purpose or make a donation. Tee off for Tiny Hearts, because every heartbeat deserves a chance. For more details, contact the Surfing the Sassoon Heart Foundation at sassoonheartfoundation.org.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Welcome back. Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. This is Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry, Aaron Green sitting in at the mic. Joining us today, we have in studio Candy Gibson, founder and director of FOAM, Families of All Murder Victims. And also, Candy Gibson was recently selected as CIBC Caribbean's 2025 Unsung Hero for the Bahamas. And soon we are awaiting the regional award ceremony and then the global award ceremony, like Solo made say, from the Gibson to the world. From the Gibson to the world. All right, Candy. On the other side of the break, I mentioned this new initiative that I've been seeing little bits of here and there, coming from FOAM, called the Bella's Pin Initiative. Yes. Tell us about the Bella's Pin Initiative.
Okay, well, we all know a few years ago, Bella would have lost a life. And I didn't know Bella, but somehow I just have that little girl imprinted in my heart and my thoughts. And so I said, what we can do, let's say we have something called Pin the Potholes. If you know if a pothole somewhere, we just send a PIN number to the WhatsApp number, and then people come and they fix the pothole.
Yeah.
Okay, Bella's life and other little children about who are being neglected and abused, their life's important too. So let's do a Bella's pin.
Like a location pin on the GPS, okay.
Right. So which means you might have a neighbor, and you might have a neighbor, you always pass a particular area where you see a child being neglected or a child being left alone or abused or abandoned. There should be some, how I have a design in my head, there'll be some WhatsApp numbers out there. Mm-hmm. And so therefore you can just take your phone and send this WhatsApp number. When the message the Google map goes to this WhatsApp number, you can say, well, find the house number 22, blue and white. So your people know exactly the house, blue and white, and whatever. That triggers off to the police station and a social worker. And so therefore they would then come together. It's 24 hours. They would then come together and go to the residence. Sometimes, like this how I do it to her. Like if someone make a call, they gotta call a parent. Hey, I'm needing to come do an investigation. However, but with a bell or spin, you're not gonna get one. They can show up. So in some cases, you can come there and meet the mommy not home. So it'll be proof that, hey, she do leave these children attended. You understand me? Then you can go from there to see if there should be formal charges. Charges when they might need formal charges. They may just need parental counseling, parental guidance, parental classes. But however, if we do this, we can help so much people.
I just thinking, I saw a quick story. The woman was tracking her husband. She's a PI, right?
Okay.
She said, I called him and I said, are you home? And he said, yeah. And it turns out he wasn't home. So she said, I get in a landline. She's in the States.
Right.
And I can tell you, call me from the landline. Or I can call the landline and you pick up the landline. And if you don't, I know you're not home. Right? Because if you call somebody on the cell and say, these are the authorities, we've gotten word that your children are home unattended, they can send somebody, while they talking to you, they could start texting somebody, the neighbor, and say, look here, I need you to go over to my house and pretend like you've been there for the last 4 hours.
And I can tell you that because even when I was in Canada with my daughter, she didn't like do homework. So I went to school one day and I was like, did you say, the Candace not doing her homework? I said, okay. So I went to the school, I told her, don't let me have to come in and embarrass you. Next thing I know, Child Protection was calling me. We got a complaint saying that you just abuse your child. I said, excuse me. So I called Kante. I said, Kante, these people come into my house. If you tell them I spank you in here, it could be me and you, okay? And if they take you from this house, you can get your child, not me. So when they carry her in the room, and I give her one look, you better don't try to go against what I say.
You're going to get an A in explaining the cultural differences in disciplining children in the Western Hemisphere, right?
You understand me?
Yeah.
And so she had to say, my mommy don't beat me or whatever. But, I beat her because that's our culture.
Yeah.
But you can't take that over there,
No.
whatever. And so I said to say that, so if I did that, when you call me and tell me you come and check on, I can tell my children the same thing.
Yeah.
So if we have this initiative in effect, once I took off to the police station and a social worker, they go straight to the house.
Right. And see, listen, if the CCTV is working, like y'all say the CCTV is working, right, then social services should also be able to access the CCTV. It may be with the police officer together to say, so-and-so said that they returned home from work at this hour along this road. We could tell by checking the CCTV. Oh, it turns out they were telling the truth, but they left home 5 minutes later by the back road, right? Because we were able to see that last CCTV, or we caught them at this camera here, so we know that this is the path that they took. Like, we have the resources available. For me, the question is, do we have an equal and equitable allocation of national resources? If you got CCTV, right, it should not just be there for traffic matters. It shouldn't just be there to aid police in high-level investigations. It should be there for the benefit of the protection of the children and the elderly as well. I see, Candy, we got a caller that is preparing. Good morning, caller.
Hey, morning, Miss Green. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Boy, you something else, boy. You was something else. I can get you right now. One time ago, right, you had a show, and I brought up the belt, right? You jump all over me. But Candy bring up the belt, you size it up.
Candy beat herself. Hold on. But when Candy was telling me the story just now, she pulled off her own belt for herself.
No, buddy, you ain't saying nothing, no.
I did. I said.
No. You ain't saying nothing.
Okay.
You grin.
Candy, I supposed to tell you, Candy, you beating your children is dangerous.
Yeah, but I beat myself. That's why I was less for you to say.
Right. See what I'm saying, caller? She was already on it. But okay, there's a difference between discipline and abuse. There's a thin line, right? I think even in this country, we understand there's a culturally appropriate age where you stop beating your children. I want to say this, though, to parents, right? Like, if you find that you are administering physical discipline to your children beyond the age of 8 as a regular practice, you have failed. That beating don't mean to them what you think that beating mean to them. They have already taken that and turned that into something else, right? That if you find that you have the urge to beat your kids, or you are still beating your kids past 8, 9, 10, you got to beat yourself because you're the person who failed. Bang. Listen, I'm not calling you a failure.
Right.
What I'm saying is, though, that through hundreds and hundreds of years of child development and our ability to assess it, what we know is that parents who put the work in at the very beginning tend to have less work to do as the children age and mature. Putting the work in at the beginning is a punishment to you, though. You have to moderate your behavior. You have to live a certain way. When Leela Green is telling me the story about how Ona Bailey laughed at her, she called the house at 7 and say, hey, I could come over. She said, yeah, the children could be in bed. She said, what you mean? It's 7 o'clock. Leela said, yeah, them children be in bed by 7:30. Trust that, right? If you beaten them, it's because you didn't do the work early on. Producer, we got time to take this caller? All right, caller, we coming to you right now. Good morning.
Good morning. This is a subject that really disturbs me.
Mm-hmm.
In all my travels, I realized that we're the only ones who beat up on our children. When we beat them, and I was beaten, I really got beaten. And it didn't make sense to me. I didn't like being beaten. I felt that if I had been spoken to, it would have worked far better than a belt.
Mm-hmm.
However, what I've noticed here is that people slap and smack their children and call them names.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's not education.
And it's not discipline.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay?
It's abuse.
And maybe we need to look at where, if the Bible says spare the rod and spoil the child, we're the only one kicking and beating our children. I mean, there's a guy on Andrews that broke his daughter's back with a piece of wood.
But, hold on, Hamilton.
And believe
Hold on,
that
Hamilton, stick a pin. I'm not going to cut you. I think we've been interpreting spoil the rod, spare the child incorrectly, or at least not in its fullness, because to me, spare the rod, what it means is if you are indisciplined as a parent, right? Not that if you don't beat your child and discipline them, but if you are indisciplined, right? If you don't hold the form of the rod and stand up straight, you will spoil the child. But we take that out on the child. Go on. So they have
I'm wondering if we are simply not beating our children the way we were beating a slave, brutally, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I noticed here, because I've lived abroad so long, the other nations and countries, they allow their children to speak, to express themselves.
Mm-hmm.
We had this thing, never seen whatever, which is fine in its place. But what I'm saying is that we really perhaps need to examine why we resort to such violence when it comes to educating our children. It hurts them because, if the white race is still supreme, it has to have something to do with the way they raise their children to be supreme. And they're certainly not beating them and cursing at them and pushing them down and not leaving them. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
And so I really would like to put it out there that I think this beating thing is too generalized and it has not been questioned.
Listen, there's a thin line between discipline and abuse, and most people are on the wrong side of that line. I'm going to say quickly, I got 2 beatings from Bernard Green when I was a child, and he explained to me why he was beating me, because I was stupid. Because I didn't see how easy it was to detect the mischief that I was up to. I remember them, and I remember the lesson that came with them. Only 2. That's all I needed. Candy, free Thanksgiving lunch. Foam is hosting tomorrow at the Foam headquarters.
Yes.
Where that is?
Number 68 Alexander Boulevard. So if you come to the main entrance of Nassau Village, you come all the way down to the T-Junction, make a right at the T-Junction, continue down passing the basketball park, continue down a little further on the right, and you will see God Bless Barber. Turn right there, you see our office.
There you go, and you can call 603-4141 or 424-8953, beggar to drop your pin. Also, you have today and tomorrow to drop off some donations to support the initiative. And then tonight on Zoom, Reclaiming Memory with the Bahamas National Reparations Committee. That's Equality Bahamas. You can find the link on their Facebook page, their Instagram page, or their website. Or you could go to lu.ma/16 days 25. And then on Thursday, tomorrow night at the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, Two-Faced, Gender Equality in the Bahamas, a full film screening. Candy, thank you very much. I got to go figure out how I feed these 4 raccoons, 3 cats, and 1 very, very friendly pot cake that stopped by this morning and asked me what we doing for Thanksgiving dinner. And ain't no dilly on the tree. What we gonna do? You guys have a great day. Zhivago Lang is up after the break for the news. Candy, we're gonna talk soon. Have a great day, Bahamas.
Thank you.